First step to start your red velvet eggless sponge is to take out your butter, place it in your bowl. Now if you have a stand mixer, you can use a stand mixer as well. Or you can just simply use your hands and a spatula like this. So rubber spatula. Castor sugar. If you don't have castor sugar, you can use powdered sugar as well. All the sugar at one time. Start to clean this. Now with soft butter, it becomes easier using it. So just leave your butter outside in room temperature for about an hour. Your butter should soften up. Just press it down like this. Keep pressing it down. It's very important to use a very sturdy spatula. Don't use a flimsy spatula. So get a nice fat grip spatula. It's easy to do this. Keep pressing it down like that. So you notice I don't grip my spatula here. But it's difficult to work with if you're gripping it here. You grip it where it's easy for you. That makes your life much more simpler. Spreading it down like that. Keep hitting it to the sides of the bowl so that it starts creaming. You may want to add a duster. In case this is slipping, you might want to add a duster there so it's easy for you to cream this. So continuous cleaning like that and it starts getting white like this. So the fat is expanding in your creaming process like that. Next step is after you've cleaned it like that, so it's nice and white, you notice it's getting whiter and lighter. After this step is done, you can then add in the condensed milk. So condensed milk, in this condensed milk we've added a touch of vanilla essence. So we can incorporate that in as well. And cut and fold this as well. I tend to use a spatula because it's a good workout for me as well. If you tend to gravitate more towards using a whisk, you can use a whisk, or if you're using electric egg beater, you can use those two attachments as well. Not a problem. You can go ahead with that. Add in the next element. Now at most times you can add this in first or you can add this in last. But in this particular recipe I have got color to add, so I'm going to add in the buttermilk first, and then I'm going to add in the dry ingredients, and then I'm going to add the color last. So all at one time. Now the ratio of this recipe is such that it's going to look a little curdled anyway. But don't worry about it because the end product is going to be really nice and soft. So this might look a little curdled to you. Don't worry, it's not gone bad or anything. This batter has got a ratio as such that the product tends to look a little curdled. Here I've added in the dry ingredients, which is a mixture of your baking powder, flour and cocoa powder. Just cut and fold that. So you always fold in the flour. You do not mix in the flour, you mix in everything else, but you cut and fold in the flour. And once your folding is done, just make sure everything is gone to the center like that. Scrape the spatula clean. Everything in the center. And keep turning the bowl as well occasionally so that you cover all the places. Mix it in nicely so that there's no lumps in the batter. Once the batter is done, what you need to do is next step is to add in the color. Once this product is ready here, what you need to add in next is the color. So the color is mixed with a little bit of baking soda, and we're going to burn this up. Or we're going to create some effervescence here by adding some vinegar. So just a 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Now this proportion will change on the base of your recipe. Just mix this up quickly. You notice that it's starting to pop like that. So you just take in all the. Now this step is done mostly with powder color so that the powder color kind of mixes well and doesn't cause specks or little dots in the mixture. And also to burn off any kind of aftertaste. Just add all of this inside. If you're using gel color, you can use gel color as well. I have used the raspberry red synthetic food color. Raspberry red synthetic food color. Just mix this up. And you've got a nice deep pinkish color which is going to yield you a maroonish kind of an aftertaste, or rather maroonish kind of a shade after baking. Once the batter is ready like that, you can line up a ring mold like this with the aluminum foil at the bottom and with a layer of margarine on the sides and at the bottom as well. Simply pour this here. So you're trying to pour it till it gets filled till half. If you have batter left inside the bowl, you can use this batter to make red velvet cupcakes as well. The batter is not wasted. So the next sponge is the eggless red velvet. You notice what I've done is I've just scraped the sides using this butter knife. With this one it's a little easier again, but you need to just flip this over. Make sure it releases like that, so you can just see it dancing inside this ring. Dancing inside this ring like that. Simply overturn and let it release. Get rid of the ring. And this product can sit like that and cool off. Now all these sponges which are cool, they're going to go inside the fridge. All these sponges which are here, they're going to go inside the fridge after we cling wrap each and every one of them. So you need to cling wrap this one. If you have a lot of sponges, cling film them along with the base mode or the cake base. That will help to hold its integrity while it's in the refrigerator or in the freezer. For me, it's always better to use a sponge which is a day old, which is which is rested inside the fridge overnight. That's going to be easy for you to cut. If the product is very stiff, very difficult, it will be very difficult for you to cut that particular kind of a sponge. And the moment you try to cut a fresh sponge, you will have a lot of it getting crumbly and kind of breaking up on you. So that's a little bit difficult for you to work with. It's going to be very difficult. So it's always better to refrigerate your sponges overnight.